Welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. If you want daily Cowboys videos, all preseason, regular season, off-season, slow season, fast season, everything else in between, this is the right spot for you. Hit that sub button right now. Let's dive into some Cowboys trade rumors on today's show as things getting at least a little bit interesting out there on social media thanks to Quinnen Williams. He's pulling a page out of the classic playbook of changing your Twitter profile to indicate you really want a new contract or at least get the trade rumors going from that perspective. Quinnen, who I think is one of the best young, if not the best young defensive tackles in the NFL, changed his bio. Removed, and we'll show it to you in a minute, removed the Jets and put DT4 ... This is the Jeffery Simmons did something kind of similar, though he did it earlier and no one really noticed of, you know what, contract talks aren't going the way you want, time to get the social media buzz going by changing your profile. It's a little annoying, especially if that player's on your team, but it does work. Here's the new bio for Quinnen Williams, defensive tackle for a lot of dots. Very clear what he is inferring and implying from that perspective. It's, you know what, maybe it's not for the Jets. With that said, I would love to get Quinnen Williams in Dallas. I think the Jets would be astronomically stupid to not pay him. Quinnen Williams, again, like I mentioned, is one of the premier defensive tackles in the entire NFL. He's got a 12-sack season. 12 sacks defensive tackle is elite production. Former top 3 pick was kind of, sort of, briefly mentioned in the trade rumors a couple years ago. I think other teams call him the Jets. They were patient. The breakout finally came. He is a premier football player. And the cost is going to be a lot. And that's fine with me. If you want to extend Quinnen Williams, it should be more than what Jeffery Simmons got. We have seen a massive run of high-paid defensive tackles in recent memory. Daron Payne, Dexter Lawrence, the nose guards getting $22.5. Jeffery Simmons, more of a 3-technique, just like Quinnen is, getting $23.5 million. Jeffery Simmons would cost a lot in a contract and an actual trade, the assets going back to the Jets. It would be a first and more at minimum. This might even be a Jalen Ramsey-esque package for a player of his capacity. I would do it in a heartbeat. I would probably move first. More picks. I'd probably throw Oso to user, not because I don't like Oso, because I'm getting a better player in Quinnen Williams. Send those all to the Jets. I don't know why the Jets would do it. They have team control with Quinnen Williams next couple of years, and their whole thing right now is to win football games right now. You know, if you were to send Osa back, okay, cool, that might help them a little bit, but a future first doesn't help them when Aaron Rodgers only has a few years left at most. They are built to win now. They don't have the patience to sit around waiting. So I would love to get Quinnen Williams. My expectations and hopes are about as low as they could be because it just doesn't make sense for the other party involved. So with that in mind, today's pinned comment is this. Name a player who you want to trade for. Sound off in the comment section right now. A name I don't think we'll see that much of is Javon Kinlaw. Blogging the Boys floated this idea out there. They suggested looking at a Javon Kinlaw trade, and this does fit off some of what I've called the Will McClay special. Former early round draft pick, hasn't lived expectations, gets a shot in Dallas. He's not that expensive. $2.72 is the salary owed. The real problem here is, even though I was a fan of what Javon Kinlaw offered coming out of South Carolina, I liked the traits. The Niners basically swapped him for DeForest Buckner. Oops. Despite what I liked about him as a prospect, he's been terrible. There's no way around it. Javon Kinlaw has been a bust for the 49ers. That doesn't mean things can change, but the player we've seen in San Francisco has simply not been good. I mean, to put it in perspective, Neville Gallimore has outplayed Javon Kinlaw. And we're talking about maybe cutting Neville Gallimore this offseason. All but one of his quarterback hits came back in his rookie year. Injuries, a massive factor in this, but who is he better than on this Cowboys roster? Osa's better. I actually feel a bit more confident in the floor of Chauncey Golston. Maybe not the same ceiling. So I run into issues of just how confident I am in terms of giving up even a late day 3 pick for Kinlaw, because I don't know if he's going to end up being very good in the end. Folks, summer is here, and if you're not quite sure what to wear, whether it's at work or at home or just out and about, well, our new sponsor is here to help make that change and make your life easier. Bird Dogs. I'm hyped to have them as a sponsor here at the Cowboys Report. I wear them on the golf course, to meetings, in the office, out on dates with the wife, or hanging out with friends. It fits everything. Use promo code CHAT at birddogs.com, and they will give you a free Yeti-style tumbler with your first purchase. That link and promo code, by the way, will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. Whether it is their shorts, important here in Dallas when things get a little bit hotter, or if you're maybe in a cooler climate, their pants, or if you just got to wear pants to work, whatever it is, their stretchy fabric makes them more comfortable than any shorts or pants out there. By the way, bit of a weird take from me here. My favorite part about them, beyond just the comfort and the fit, is the side pocket on this right here. Perfect for your wallet, so that when you sit down, you're not actually sitting on your wallet all day. It's just off to the side. It's perfect. Comfort is king, and Bird Dogs delivers in massive fashion. So use promo code CHAT, that's C-H-A-T, at birddogs.com. Again, that link's in the comments section and the description of today's show. They will give you a free Yeti-style tumbler with your purchase. Trust us, folks, you will not regret it. Happy to have Bird Dogs here as a sponsor at the Cowboys Report. Next up on the trade side of things, Isaiah Simmons. Blogging the Boys also mentioned him. This one is kind of in between Quinnen Williams, who I love, but it's not going to happen, and Javon Kinlaw, who I don't really want and maybe could happen from that perspective. Isaiah Simmons, I could see being moved, maybe not right now, but maybe closer to the trade deadline. The Cardinals are pretty clearly in a rebuilding stage. I think there's a great chance they have the number 1 overall pick and take a new quarterback and move on, blah, blah, blah. The Cardinals declined the 5th-year option of Isaiah Simmons. He's owed $3.15 million this year, then would be a free agent. And there have been flashes of the guy that I loved coming out of Clemson. Average about 100 tackles the past couple years. The TFL numbers have been pretty steady. The pass breakups steady, sacks jumped, but the in and outs of coverage have not been very good, which is disappointing because he was supposed to be a tight end eraser. And he was kind of a jack of all trades at Clemson, and I was convinced if you have a good defensive coordinator, they'll get the most out of him. Hasn't happened so far in Arizona. Simmons has not lived up to the hype. But if there's one or even among the top 3 defense coordinators I trust to maximize Isaiah Simmons, isn't that Dan Quinn? I mean, imagine Jaron Kearse and Isaiah Simmons on the field at the same time. He has the length, the athletic ability. I think you can still coach him up a little bit more to maximize him in that strong safety, linebacker, overhang, hybrid role. Arizona's trying to make him into a nickel corner last year. That didn't make any sense to me. I thought that was misuse because Arizona loves drafting linebackers and then using them weirdly. That's just what they do as an organization. I think Dan Quinn could maximize Isaiah Simmons. It's a matter of, you drafted DeMarvion Overshown to kind of do some similar things. You have Damone Clark. Do the Cowboys view linebacker as a big enough need to trade the assets it would likely cost? He's not going to be a 5th-round pick, I don't think. It'd probably be more of at least a 3rd, even come deadline time. So would you trade for Isaiah Simmons? Y for yes, N for no in the comments section. Sound off, speak your mind down there. One more trade name mentioned with the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't get this one off the top. So CBS Sports updated their top 10 trade candidates and continued to list Grover Stewart as a fit for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, 2 big issues here. Number 1, Grover Stewart, who was very good last year, don't get me wrong, is owed $9.63 million this year. It's a lot of money to pay for a good, but still only a nose guard. And the nose guard aspect is confusing to me because you just drafted a nose guard in the 1st round. You spent a premium draft pick, a 1st-round pick on Mozzie Smith to be your version of Grover Stewart. So why would you also trade for him? And you re-signed on Hankins. What it seems to me is that CBS Sports forgot to update the article and change and take the Cowboys off it because they're no longer a fit. But of these last 3 guys, since everyone would have put in Quinnen Williams otherwise. So I'd take him off the list. Of these three players, if you had to trade for one, who would it be? I think I know the answer for most, but it's your chance to vote. JK for Javon Kinlaw, GS for Grover Stewart, IS for Isaiah Simmons. If the Cowboys didn't add a defensive tackle at all, I would have been more intrigued by Grover Stewart. It still would have required a contract adjustment in some capacity because 70 tackles and 9 TFLs and 4 sacks is a lot for a nose. That is awesome production, and frankly, probably a bit of outlier production as well. But the Cowboys did draft a nose guard. They have Hankins. They have Mozzie Smith. They even have Quinton Bohanna on the roster still. So very weird to me to see CBS Sports just leave that in there as it's still a fit, but he's not. He's not a fit. It's like saying the Jags took a receiver in round 1, or off tackle in round. They should go trade for Daron Williams still. No, they have somebody. It's not keeping up to date with what's happening in the NFL. It's frankly a bit disappointing from the CBS Sports side of things.